GM guys, GM. Hope I'm loud and clear. Welcome to our very interesting bootcamp. Okay. So very quickly, let's just all type a GM in the chat box. Just GM, everybody GM. Very quickly, GM, yes. GM Kende, GM Lord Despa, hashtag HQ GM. Only three people GM. What's going on? GM, Priscilla, Omotoye, Oluwafemi. I greet you all in the name of the spirit gods, the gods of 2 and 3 dimensions. Remember one time in our class, someone actually asked about the 4th dimension, I remember, because I think the brain cannot comprehend 4 dimension, if you think about it. But I can also say 4th dimension is time too. Time is the other quantity that we can't actually, time is always in motion. So yeah, once again, I'm welcoming you all to our day 3, still in week 2. And today ends every form of polygon modeling. Every form of polygon modeling that we have been doing. Bye bye. But your assignments will still need it. But I'm just saying for the teaching, for the class, right? So very quickly in the chat box, please, if you know the assignment was too difficult, just write difficult. If it's not too difficult, just write not difficult. I just want to see something very quickly. Just use 20 seconds to do that. Just 20 seconds. Let's see. Was it too difficult or not difficult? Nobody's typing anything. Kehinde, oh my god. Damn. Like that. Okay. Well, everybody's saying, like, someone's telling me that, are you sure I'm not just thinking very highly of you guys? And that's why I'm trying to whine you people, or I don't even know. I'm not trying to whine you guys. The thing is, you are finding it difficult because you are trying to make it the best. Look, even what Priscilla showed me, like that one that you guys saw, I don't have any assignment to do review. No, don't worry. You see, let me tell you something. I didn't do an example for a window now, but didn't you do a window? You did a window. You understand? So the idea is I gave you the tools, right? So in modeling those weapons, everything you've learned, you actually put it to play. But guess what? I don't think it's mentally difficult. I just think it's probably going to be time consuming. At least one weapon should have been modeled. Do you feel with everything we've done, one could not have been modeled? Like, it's just a question though. You think at least one? Let's look at the knife now, that last one at the edge. Do you think like maybe one way or the other, like one would have not been modeled? That's just something I was like thinking. The one on the extreme right. Let me do some presenting. Okay, mad curve. Okay. I'm not going to do the weapons now. I'm going to go to my class. Yeah, I said I was going to give them a right, but okay, what of the spear now? What of the spear? Do you know that if you bring in a cube and if you bring in a cube and you turn it sideways to make it look like a diamond, press one on your thumb or your one that's take it to front view, pick one of the vertices and drag it, you have made spear, I swear. Highest you just look for the other side and extrude it. Simple. You should find way to see. Let me tell you something. I wanted you guys to represent them in the simplest way possible. It doesn't have to exactly be like this. That's what I was trying to say. They have to like exactly be like this. Well, I'm still happy that the kind of problems you guys are encountering now are big boys problem, not small children problems. So I'm happy. Problems are always good though. Remember, someone still said it though that with problems we get better. So me, I don't know why you are running away from this one. But don't worry. You see the reason why I was like thinking highly of you when I start to like do when I do like one or two of the weapons. And guess what? You see those shapes, cube, plane, all of them from the curve, converting your curve to mesh. I think what Priscilla missed was she had the shape of the axe, but I was asking her if it was a mesh or a curve. All you have to do next is convert it. Priscilla, can you unmute your mic and tell us like if you see after you did the handle, you had the shape already. So how did you come up with that shape?
Okay, after importing the image to Blender, I just imported like a cylinder and I created the handle. But then I used this Bezier curve to get the curve. Well,
Mhm.
then to not feel it, I converted to mesh, but maybe I was converting wrong because I could not feel it because I don't know. I saw a video where they filled it, then just started dragging the vertices and everything, but then I could not do it.
Hey, so
Then the other one I was telling you about the front plane. Another one I saw, like how do I put it? He created a plane in front. He made that same shape. There's the same curve at the front and at the back. Then when he filled it, he now like kind of magneted the edges to form that very sharp edge. But then I could not.
okay, here's the thing, ba. See, fantastic job getting to that point. I like the fact that okay, that's why I wanted to see your progress. You see, one thing that everybody missed here was if you had dropped your progress, I would have been able to. Because you see, this question now is a technical question, and trust me, you will eventually get better. In fact, you are better already like this. Now, here's the thing: when you convert to mesh, did you select all of them before you try to fill it?
No, no.
Okay. So now, how do you tell the computer to fill what? Like, imagine you have space, you have land everywhere and there's water somewhere and you need a bridge. So you imagine in your computer, you tell your computer, okay, point A is going to be the start of the bridge, point B is going to be the end of the bridge. Bridge. You see now do the bridge like vra 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 vra. Now do the bridge finish. You told it where to fill. Do you know that from that your shape, you can actually tell it to fill across, up, down, diagonally, or everywhere. And what we needed was everywhere, right? And after everywhere, then we extrude it. Sure, you know what done. And yes, what we just do is create a loop cut and to just make it sharper. Simple. Do you know? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I did not think of that. Yes, I do.
So you were there already. It was in front of you. Don't worry, everybody's going to get it right. Everybody will get it right. Don't worry, don't worry. But thank you for sharing that wonderful knowledge with us. Actually, makes sense a lot. So this is going to make you think. You see, now, in fact, I don't know. There was someone that some people are actually importing for some of these assignments. So people are actually importing objects from. If you go to libraries, you can actually download these things. If you go online, you can actually download your bedroom or download even these weapons. But guess what? This class is not for you to download. This class is for you to know. Why? Because so you can bring in your own design. If you get what I'm trying to say, we're not trying to in the future, you'll be able to manipulate these meshes, these objects, these weapons, however way you want them. But now you need to master how to bring your own in first. Then after this, then maybe you can now decide where you want to specialize in, if you are going to be specializing in modeling, or you are going to be specializing in animation or rigging and all. So, but wonderful one, Priscilla. At least you tried, and thumbs up to everybody too. It's just that at least it would have made sense if we had seen your progress. Your progress would have even helped the next person. Do you understand? Your progress would have helped the next person, and that's just how ideas come into our head. Trust me. So last time we dealt on surfaces, text, metabol, and modifiers. And remember, I stopped at modifiers because I didn't want us to do so many jam-pack knowledge. So we treated a lot, we did the side of the form. I said we should play with these modifiers. If you had played with modifiers too, you might not have had problem with this weapon. So, but it's cool. It's cool. And then even in the modifiers, we also treated the mirror modifier, where what you do on the right side can appear on the left side, even if you decide to divide the object, take it to the right, far right, or if it's joined, like in the middle here. So yeah, can you all see my screen? Can all see my screen, right? Okay, okay. So moving to the next, sculpting and painting. You see, here's the thing. Painting is not supposed to come now, but according to the manual, they couldn't explain sculpting without painting, but I'm going to explain sculpting without painting. But I know they go hand in hand. So you see, sculpting and painting, they both use brushes. That's number one similarity. But for sculpting, you change the topology of the mesh. You see all those artists, all those sculptors, basically, it's the same thing we do when we try to create characters. We sculpt them. Sometimes you can actually use polygons to model them, but sculpting gives you a well-defined shape. So sculpting is more defined, more accurate to a vet. You know what I mean by like a vertex point. Yes, that's what sculpting can give you. While the vertex paint change the color. Vertex paint now, that one has to do with changing the color of vertices in the active vertex color layer. Weight paint change the weight of vertices in the active vertex group, and texture paint change the pixels of the active object image. So in order not to confuse you, let's quickly show you what Blender is trying to do. This is my Blender. This is my Blender. So now guess where all these things are. If you come here, remember I told you to never go down after this. Now see where they are. See where they are. Sculpt mode, vertex paint, weight paint, and texture paint. Sculpt mode, the normal sculpting that you know. The normal sculpting. Let me come to the elastic form drag here. Can you see? It's actually very interesting. Sculpt mode. This vertex paint is what you were seeing that time, which is actually telling you how that one just changes the color of vertices. It doesn't change them their actual color. This one is just for you to be able to model better. Example, if you're modeling maybe someone's chest, and you need to separate the chest from the stomach, you can tell the vertex color that okay, I want here to be blue. Does not mean that it's going to be blue, like the character is going to be blue outside. That's when you go to material mode. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Same now if you go to the weight paint. Weight paint, see where weight paint is. Weight paint is for rigging. Now this one, let me just explain the entire process of rigging. Rigging just involves using objects or armatures. Armatures mean bones to control a particular mesh, part of an object. So when you come to weight paint, and you see in weight paint there's no edge, only vertex point and face. So if you come here, it is only these things are only for you to know where like the part of the object that is going to be assigned to that particular, whether it's an entity or a bone or an object. So basically, weight paint is for rigging. Is there another thing weight paint is for? Nothing now. It's for rigging, basically. So now I've gotten to the selection mode. That's when it comes to masking. I'll try as much as not to make this sound confusing. But now, so when you sculpt, right, there are parts of the object where you don't want to touch at all. Now, you can mask that area. Imagine you are sculpting a cup. Imagine your head right now as I'm speaking. The side of the cup where you want to keep your handle, that C shape. Imagine you didn't want to touch that part, but you wanted other places to have like maybe embroidery, or just maybe you're trying to do a local Viking cup. So maybe you're trying to draw, you'll be drawing maybe small Norse language on the cup. I know you understand what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm trying to say, like thumbs up. So like you're trying to imagine you're doing just small design or maybe flower design around the cup, but you don't want that part of the cup to be touched. You just mask it. As simple as that. When you go to Blender, on your tools, when you enter sculpt mode, you see all those, you see, okay, in fact, okay, I'll show you when I get to Blender now. By the left, where when we entered edit mode, that you will see extrude, all those things down. You can see all of them change when it comes to sculpting. You see drag, you will see layers, you will see crease. All of them have their functions. All of them have their functions. To see what they are saying in selection mode. So when it comes to selection mode, you can only choose between face selection masking, which is the masking we're talking of, and vertex selection masking. The original mesh edges are shown even when modifiers are active. Your modifiers can be active while you sculpt. That's actually very interesting. But there's a trick to how modifiers work with sculpting though. There's also something called multi-res. That multi-res is something that I didn't really delve very deep into, because at some point I was not modeling very detailed characters for should I say for games. Yeah. So yeah. So brushes. You see, when I was dragging that part of the mesh, that was actually my brush. This is in weight paint mode. Let's go to the sculpting we've been talking of. Can you see that the tools have changed? Let's go back again. Come to object mode. Can you see? Come to edit mode. Look at the tools that are here. See our polygon, our loop cut, see all those things we did. Bevel, insert face, add cube, everything is here. When you go to sculpt mode, look, let's go from beginning. See, draw. There's draw sharp, there's clay strips, there's clay thumb, there's layer, there's inflate, there's blob, there's crease. So much, guys, so much. Like a sculpting. Skyrim. I don't know Skyrim, but it's cool. And then there is a lot. There's snake hook. There's even how to make the object emulate like a cloth. You see that time when you were doing cloth? See, sculpting, you can even sculpt your cloth to simulate. You can sculpt your object to simulate cloth-like surface. That's actually very interesting. So now, guys, you see this yellow. This is my cursor generally. When you come to sculpt mode, everything changes. See, normal cursor, edit mode, then last one, sculpting. See the sculpting now, you see it changes. This is my brush. What you see up here, just like most design softwares, but even if you have never been a designer in your life, you are here, don't worry. This is for the radius of your brush. I know if I do here now, somebody will say, I can't really touch it. Do you know the reason why? When you come to edit mode, can you see you only have how many vertices? So you can't control here because you don't have enough vertices to control that point. Now, guess what we're going to do, guys? I'm going to right click and press subdivide. Look, I'm going to come up here and increase the subdivision number of cuts to 3. Let's make it 4. Let's make it 5. Be careful. This eats a lot of computer power. Come to sculpt mode. If I come here, can you see I can now move it? You need points to be able to. It took me a long time to understand this thing because me, since they didn't teach me, I was self-taught. Somebody will sculpt and I'll sculpt and nothing is moving. I say, God Almighty, what's going on? The tool I am on is elastic deform. I can decide to do crease, but crease needs a lot of information to show you. Okay, let me just explain something to you. Look at the tools carefully. If you look at the tools carefully, if you're on Blender as you speak, you will notice that every tool tries to explain to you what it really does, right? But let me tell you the most important tools that you ever use. That character I modeled, the other one that I'm still modeling now, the one I posted on Twitter today. This is what I'm going to be doing. So can you see? Can you see crease will not really show because you still need more information. But for things like maybe elastic deform, all I have to do is increase the radius. You see the strength too of how it affects your object too is also important. Look at how big the radius is. This elastic deform, if I drag here, everything will go because it's large. Let's drop it from 315 to 38. But if you zoom in, can you see 38? Look how 38 is doing. Ewo, 38 is so small. 38 is so small. Okay, sorry, I was in 14. This is 38 now. Look at 38. Drop it to 1. This one, you need to have a lot of subdivision. But you know why it worked? I went to a particular vertex point. See now, if I come here, it won't work. Because from the topology of the object, I can see that there are informations here that I can actually handle. So that is actually very interesting. So if you are very happy with this sculpt mode, please just I want to see thumbs up because you should be imagining what you can actually make. You see, your imagination is limitless. You can do anything. You see, that's the thing about this software. Imagine there's no object that you can't create. If you can create it, it means you can create your own version. It's as simple as that. You can create your own style of characters, your style of sci-fi city. If you want your city to be upside down, your gravity to be inverted, characters are going to, maybe the gravity is going to be working investing on characters. Trust me, is it the gaming world you want? Movie industry, you want to just do art, you want to do your design, you want to improve your visual cues, everything is possible with this whole modeling methods. This to me does not fall under polygon modeling, guys. It does not because it's sculpting. And I'll tell you the reason why. Now here's the thing. Sculpting changes the topology of the object. Remember what I mean by topology that time? The kind of information you have on the surface of the object. So if you see this one that I was trying to explain, look at one of the tools. This is draw. This is draw. I know draw already when I see draw. This is draw tool, that first one that is by the left. So now, for every tool that you open in Blender, there's a tab where you can go and check the tool settings. You can check whatever is used for the size and everything. Let's just quickly show Blender again so that I don't talk out of, so you can see exactly what I'm trying to say. Let's come to, okay, it's not the first tool. It's draw the first. Draw is the first now. Now, if you come to this place, active tool and workspace settings, can you see it? Tap it and you can see your tools. You can see, let me drag it like this so that we can see very well. Radius unit, the strength, the direction, the normal radius, hardness, auto smooth. This one's for advanced. If you come over to this place too, you also have what do you call it? You also have tools. Now here's the thing, if you open your blender by default, you should be able to see up to this extent without. How I move this is I hold middle mouse button and I move left and right. Me, my blender is squashed, like I squeezed it like towards the center a bit so it can fit in my recording space, right? So in case you can't see the end, you can just hold your middle mouse button and move. You get to the end, see the end options. This remesh is to add more, it's like subdividing it. It's like subdividing it. Dynamo topo. This dynamo topo, let me tell you what it does. Once you click dynamo topo, the next thing you do, if you smoothen the whole object and start to work on it, it will be working according to the size of brush you have, meaning it won't even care if there is no information here, meaning there's no vertices here, right? But guess what? In Dynamo Topo, you will be able to affect this place, but it takes a lot of computer power. That's the only downside to some of these things. Sculpting used to take a lot of computer power, I'll not lie. But that's why you just need to be careful. Remember at the same time when I was explaining um, how when I was explaining how using subdivision surface when you model. You see, anything that brings in a lot of information, anything that brings a lot of information to your object, the computer tends to do a lot of calculation, more calculation and more calculation and more calculation. So Joseph Gidio first question is like, meaning we can sculpt by adjusting the vertices in sculpt mode using the various brush options. Absolutely. But here's the thing, even if it's not a vertex, if it's just an edge, so fast you can see it. Okay, let me just show Blender again. I'll be switching between this software a lot because I need to show people what I mean. Now, even if it is not, can you see here is not a vertex now, this is an edge. I can still draw. Okay, draw is not something like, okay, let me see. If it is to move, I can't move here, right? But there's a way I can subdivide this. Let's come to edit mode, right click, subdivide. Now we have points in between. So with this point, you can actually move them. But my point is that in sculpt mode, it doesn't always have to be a vertex, but most times it's always going to be a vertex because the vertex is the smallest representation of an object. Its smallest representation. See, there's fill. This fill means if there's a hole here, if you just drag it, it will fill up. This is for smooth. No, this is flattened, sorry. This thing is too small, that's why you can't see. Can you see now? Can you see here is flat already? Here is flat. Let's flatten this side. Let's flatten up this side. It's because it's big, that's why audio. It's because it's big. Can you see? That's why most times when you sculpt, you always do it in front view, 1 or 3 side view, so you can see what you're doing. You can also press F to reduce the size of your brush without coming here for my shortcut lovers. Now you can straighten up this side. Can you see it only affected that side? That's why front view and side view is very important. This is front view. Let's do only here. Now, let's do control 1. That's the other back view. This is flattening. It's different from smoothing. See what smooth does. Can you see? Smoothing with any place that is sharp. Can you see? See? It is just smoothing that area. See? Mad. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. You see, I remember the last time we had fun like this. It was when we were treating metaball. Can you see? So they are not even sharp again. Now they're looking like something that it is thinking we're trying to model something. Just look. Some people heads like this, so oh forgive me. When you start to do some kind of funny characters, you see. So basically, right, you have more information. That is the reason why we can do this. You have more information. That is basically the reason why we can do this. So basically, when you go to your tools, you can add brush, and you can create a different type of brush, but it's always going to be similar to the first one. All you have to do is you go to where you can add brush. There's something called fake user that Blender does. When you activate uh, fake user, it means it has doubled it, meaning you are using brush 2 or brush 1.01. Remember the way I explained that with materials. I know I've not gone into materials like that, but one time I explained something um, very little about materials, and I was like, okay, when you bring in the first material, the second material, remember, so the first one came in as material, second one came in as material dot 001, and the other one is going to be 002, 003, and like that. Sculpt mode is similar to edit mode in the sense that it alters the shape of the object. We all agree. But now the thing that sculpt mode uses very different workflow. So now you are dealing with vertices, edges, and faces mostly at the same time. With sculpt mode, you can affect that whole area of the mesh at the same time. So if you're in edit mode now, you have to select, you have to maybe hold shift and select so many vertices and move them to the right, or hold shift, select many edges or many faces. But with sculpt mode, all you need to do is what? Increase the size of your brush. It will increase the area that you're trying to what? Maybe sculpt on. Maybe you're trying to inflate it, you're trying to put a crease on it. You see the tool that is here now is creased. You can see the way it just came in. That crease now is just like you're trying to show a line in between. So that's what, let me just show you something. So you see this character now. You see this edge of the ears is sharp a bit, right? Let me tell you what this person did. Here is sharper, but here is not too sharp. So what he did is, while he made everywhere sharp, he used smooth to smooth here small, then increase the strength of the smooth brush here. But make sure the brush is small so that it won't affect the other part of the ear. Beautiful, beautiful. So in other words, instead of selecting a group of vertices, sculpt mode manipulates geometry in the brush region of influence. That's the influence, that's the area where that brush can actually cover. Sculpt mode. So this one is just showing how to basically activate sculpt mode. Once you go to sculpt mode, immediately you activate the brush. A red circle will appear and you follow the location of the cursor on the 3D viewport. It might not be red. Depending on the tool, all of them have different colors. It appeared as yellow when we were in elastic deform. So that's just how it is. Now this means that the brush will follow the contours of the mesh and the radius is displayed by orienting the brush to match the topology. The topology normal. The topology normal, what they mean is the angle of where that particular object is facing. You see those box-like things that you were saying before I made it smooth. Those are those are your faces, right? So now every face tend to face different angles. If they were facing the same angle, everything will be flat. If you get what I'm trying to say. So now they're also saying how close your cursor will how closely the cursor follows the curvature of the mesh can be changed in the brush settings. If you zoom in, it's almost the same thing as you're increasing the size of the brush, because the area of influence will what? Reduce, like as if you are trying to narrow to, okay, like now you want to sculpt someone's eye. You put if you are zooming from afar, you put your cursor on the whole eye socket and start to maybe try to create a hole, or you can start to create crease in a circular pattern. It's going to create like a hole where the eyeballs can fit in, right? Now, when you do that, right, if you zoom in, the hole will get smaller and the bridge will get bigger. Depending on how it is, sometimes if you zoom in, depending on how the brush is. So if you go to settings, you can set it however the way you want. That's the thing about Blender. Everything has to be tailored to what you want. What do you want? Every sculptor is different. Everybody They have how they create their characters. Everybody's different how they sculpt. Trust me. If you go to YouTube now, check how to sculpt a character and all. Me, I've still been checking. I still check how to sculpt a character. Why? Because I see people's new style and all. Me, I've been using one kind of style like that since, and it has been working for me. I was like, cool. I'll just go with the flow. So basically, we check what actually works for us. That's just how sculpting is. While sculpting, areas might be hidden so that you can work on other parts. That's a very interesting one. It makes a lot of sense. So now maybe you're working on a very complex character and the character has four hands. Just imagine maybe like Gogo character or something. Is it Gogo? Gogo has four hands, I'm 16, I can't remember. One Mortal Kombat character like that. But then, like, imagine you wanted to work on one of the hands, you just make the other body disappear. Very interesting stuff, guys. So now you see what masking helps to do. If you check on your left part of those two bar, I'll go to Blender very soon, don't worry. Masking helps us to keep those parts of the mesh at bay. Like you see, when you increase your size of the brush, if you increase your size of the brush, it will influence almost every part of your object. Imagine the size of the brush is bigger than the whole object. Of course, if you drag one point, almost all the parts will follow. Do you understand? But if you mask a particular area, maybe the left side, it will move, just like the way you see this part is. It was not even masked, but this one I didn't even mask it. But trust me, if I mask it, I was just trying to explain masking, and you can see here is not touched. It's from here. Look at where the line. You can see where the line even started. You know that this is where it's like it's there. Like this was where the influence started like showing on the object. So you can limit your brush interactions, which is actually very, very. The thing is that here you cannot treat all this. You cannot treat all the tools because there are plenty. But guess what? Just like modifiers, you are going to play with them. I beg you, play with them. In case you see some and like you can't really affect them very well. What I advise you to do is add more subdivision. You don't need to go to modifier. If you go to modifier and add subdivision surface, you're almost doing the same thing, but it's not exactly the same thing. Subdivision surface comes with bringing in more information and automatically smoothing your object, except you change the mode of subdivision surface. My English is getting too much. Let us do something very quickly. If you press X is not for delete here. You can see in sculpt mode things have changed. You can see the distance is changed. Guess what this one is? This one is draw. Now, if I come in, can you see that I can okay, the same size of brush. If I do like this, I'm drawing this part. Let me undo. If I come now and do like this, can you see I'm only affecting a lesser area? Now I can draw, make this like Y. Okay, because I'm too big, let's come here now and say, let's make it like a C shape. I'm just continuously drawing. I know people will say you should get a drawing tablet. I have a drawing tablet here just to help facilitate my drawing, but it does not mean you can actually model anything what with your mouse. You just need to tweak it. Simple. That's drawing. Let's come to object mode. Press X, delete your object, insert a cylinder. So because we have a lot of, but I need information around the center of this object, so I'm going to Ctrl R and add a lot of loop cuts and press tab or go to object mode. I went back to object mode. Please don't forget. I'm back to object mode. Now watch. Before I go to this, if I press edit, select A is to select everything, right click and subdivide. Look at what it did. Look at what it did, right? I'm going to undo, go back to object mode, come here and add subdivision surface. Look how subdivision surface did. It added more information. But it made it kind of smoother, like it tried to bevel it. It's trying to make it look, I don't know, one kind way. Okay, this is for render. Let's add more in viewport. Can you see it's making it even more smoother? But if you come to simple, it will give you almost the same thing that one gave you that time. But if you press edit mode, you can't still see you can't still see more of it. Why? Because remember, our modifiers are temporal. I'm going to press tab out to edit mode. If I apply this, Now it has become permanent. If I press edit now, it is appearing the same way we did the subdivision of right click and subdivide. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? So let me undo to when it was simple will give you more information, but it will keep the overall shape of the object. But the natural subdivision surface, when you bring it in, tries to smoothen the object. I hope that makes sense. Since we're trying to sculpt, I'm going to leave it like this and add this, and then we'll go to sculpt mode. Sculpt mode. So now, because we're trying to treat these tools one after the other, because we're trying to treat these tools one after the, you can see there is draw, draw sharp, clay, clay strip, layer, inflate, blob, quiz. So many, so many. Let's just show Blender so that we can be seeing it one after the other. I might not be able to go through all of them because of time, but you're going to get the gist, don't worry. You get the gist, basically. So with Blender, I'm in Blender, right? So I hope we have a lot of information. So draw, right? Draw is just like you're trying to draw on the object. I'm going to reduce the size of the brush by pressing F and just taking my mouse down and see. Can you see? But guess what? This will be a lot sharper. Let's increase the strength of the DC. Now if I do like this one, can you see it showed more? It showed more. See, I'm drawing on this object. I'm drawing on the object. I'm drawing on the object. This is draw. Very nice and fantastic and amazing. This is draw sharp. You can, it's like cutting inside, but makes sense. Abba, see our cup now, guys. I can actually come to object mode, right click and do shade smooth and look. But let's go back to shade flat. Go back to sculpt mode and undo someone's mic. Someone muted his mic. Please, if you're that person, try to mute your mic. Joseph, please mute your mic. So, oh god, I don't like distractions. So yeah, this is draw. Come back to sculpt mode. You can see there is clay. Let me undo this one so that I will be seeing. I want it to be originally the way it was smooth. Sculpt mode, yeah, there's clay. There's clay. Clay just finds a way to add some kind of. If you're an original sculptor, don't worry. All these things will not be. All these things will not. All of them have their use. Can you see all of them? See, I'll just show you the ones we use mostly. There's layer. See this layer. And guess one thing about this, it's like almost like draw, right? Can you see? It's almost like draw. If you press Control, it will do the opposite. It will now draw inward. This is very interesting, guys. That's the thing about sculpting. That's the thing about sculpting. You can see. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Now let's see this blob. Just like trying to make it like swell up. I don't know what else to. There's crease. Let's undo, 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 undo. I'm just pressing Ctrl Z. Remember, there's a limit to our Ctrl Z. Come to this place. You will see it. Edit. See undo history. See where you stop. Please be calculate. If you know what I do is sometimes I duplicate my objects in case I know I'm going to make a mistake. So if I undo and I cannot undo to that point, I will just go back to that last stage where I was. This is crease. Can you see crease is almost like draw sharp? Makes sense. This is someone's mouth. Do you know? If you know this is someone's mouth. Sculpting don't start. Undo. Okay, or let's just redo. So I can explain to you smooth. Smooth is going to smoothen everything out. Can you see? Like as if nothing was there. Flat is going to flatten that surface. Let's increase the size so we can see the difference. Now look. Can you see? just make that side flat. Let's take out an angle so you see. Can you see this side is flat already? There is clay straight. There's a lot, but see this elastic deform is a very powerful one. So guys, can you see that there's a lot you can do? See what I was trying to tell you. If I zoom out and drag one, see almost everywhere has gone because the size, the brush is even bigger. But if you come closer, you can actually pick individual points. Let us clap for ourselves for getting to this point because it was not easy. It was not easy. Oh. We have come, we are conquering. No matter what the oracle has said that we cannot achieve, especially with the assignment that they say is nearly killing somebody. Don't worry, there's a lot we can achieve if we just try to be innovative. So these are all the tools. Now, this is what I want to do. For my question and answer, we might not have a lot of questions today. Do you people know why? Because one, we're going to actually have to review the assignment, sadly. We need to review our assignments. And then, yeah, before I forget, I need to bring in attendance. So please try to sign your attendance. I'm going to drop the link now. Please try to sign your attendance. So now, my very wonderful people have been crying that the assignment was almost breathtaking. I'm going to use this very short time to see what we can do. Right, guys? I hope. So now I'm going to press 1 on the front view. 1. I'm going to go to where my image is. You can't see that window. Don't worry, you can't see the window. For me, I can see my window. You can't see the window because I'm only sharing Blender. But I'm just going to drop it. Remember, I came to front view. This is our object, right? I can decide what should I decide. You see, it came in as an empty. So you can click outside or unselect. We're in object mode. Come to add. You can bring in a cylinder. To me, you even come here, where's the radius? Drop the radius like this. Can you see? Press 3 to side view so you can bring it here. Come, take this your image, press G and Y to take it behind so that it doesn't enter. So if you come to side view, you can see what you're doing. See, we've even made the handle. I shouldn't even be wasting time on handle because I know handle is something that you guys can actually do. Handle is something that you can actually do. Let's see what somebody was saying was kind of difficult, right? Let's bring in, this is our object, oh, don't forget. I'm going to come edit mode, object mode, add mesh. I can maybe let me just bring a plane, right? Press 1, the plane is down here, see the plane. I'll rotate it 90 degrees, bring it to, let's see this axis here. This axis makes sense. Let's take it to where this axis is. Now you can enter wireframe mode in case you want to be seeing it. Press edit mode. Press M to merge all your vertices into, in fact, you don't even need to merge all your vertices. Come here, scale. But the image is pixelated. I didn't pick the clear one. That's a problem though. But okay, no problem. Anyhow, S scales it on only one axis. Take it this way. You can bring this one. You see what I'm doing? I'm box selecting, drop here, take it to this point. Now I can extrude to this point. Then I can press Ctrl R just to drop it here so we can get this new one. Let me zoom in, show you see that there's an extra edge here. I'm just box selecting to drag the vertices both up and down. Scale this one up. Can you see we're already getting the overall shape? Let me come out so you see. Can you see? I just came out of edit mode so you see it. Can you see? This is going to end. I want to make sure I do justice to this thing at least. Now with this, you and I know that it's not going to be that difficult. That's why I was saying with a plane, you can actually achieve it. In fact, I don't even need to follow how everything is anymore. I actually don't need to. Shift Control B. Can you see? With Shift Control B, I can bevel my vertices. I swear with this, I know you can actually do your objects. There is no more excuse, guys. With this, you can achieve. See, with this already. Okay, or what do you want to do? Let's first come to wireframe mode. Drag this to scale it on the Y axis a bit. Take them like this small. Still press shift. You know, if you are beveling an edge or a face, it is Control B. But if it is for a vert, shift, Control and B. Next, then once we are doing this, scroll up so you can add number of points. Look at what we said was hard. Yes, now if this thing, if it has a shape inward, you can even come here, okay. This is the next one, right? Come here, right click, subdivide. It's going to add a vert in the point in center, and wait first, let me right click again, subdivide. I want to make it 2 cuts. Drop this cut here, GZ. Maybe in fact, if you want it to, can you see? Either way you want it, it's going to actually work. You can bring these two, drop them down here, press this and this, press F to join. Press this and this, press F to join. Can you see? So either way you want it, you can press K knife tool, drop here and here, enter. Just watch what I'm trying to do. Press K again, knife tool, cut here, make sure you get to the end. I'm just showing you example. You can come to wireframe mode, select here, come back. You can bend it if you want. Either way, you can bring it down small and bend it. Maybe this look cut where I took it was different. Meaning if you are a you, I'll make it here. Please sign your attendance. I hope that my assignment can be ready on Wednesday at least, because I have tried. Right? Right, guys? This is like one of the most difficult shape now, Abi. And I think if you zoom out, you see. So same thing you're going to do here. Okay, let me just show you what you do at the end of the day. Let's imagine this is how, do you know if I just see this alone, oh boy, you have 100 marks for your assignment. If I see this alone, that's the shape, oh. Please, oh, you should not cheat me. Come to face mode. Press A to select everything. Extrude. Are you seeing? We're good. We are good. Come to the edge. Shebi we need it to be flat. We cannot fight to something that is blunt. Come Ctrl R. You know, if you press Ctrl R, which is loop cut, if you take it to where you want your cut to appear, which is here. Now, guess what I'm going to do? I will just, since I just pressed loop cut, I didn't select any other thing because I want it to be sharp. I don't know why it didn't select. Okay, it didn't select here because remember we artificially joined this place. It wasn't like that from the normal very get go. If you want, you can actually join here, but most times fighters don't use that part of the weapon. You can just press S, scale your object. Look, I've gotten a sharp edge. Come out. Look. It's even giving you like the actual way these blades used to be. This was what I meant by telling you that this side of your object is not the same. This side of the object is not on the same way with this side. That is why you can actually cut a human being with this, since we're trying to model a weapon. Please, not come and hold me down. Me, I'm promoting violence. I'm promoting violence, but virtually. We deal with virtual violence. So that's what I was just expecting, you know. Same thing with our knife. Try and make your knife. Bring in your box. Try to bring in your, let me press 1. Let me just show you what you do. I don't know why these people, look, you can bring in your plane. Press right click for, okay, let me just show you. No, I just like to make sure my students don't suffer. I like everybody to enjoy. Because you need to enjoy this. RX90, I rotated it on the x-axis, so don't say, what did you do there, please. You can come here. I'm not going to do it though. I'm just showing you. Because if I do it, I've done all your assignments. Now, you can drag, if you come to wireframe mode, is in edge mode, that's why. Come to vertex, drag this whole place, come here, drag this one and drop it down here. Do you know that I didn't even know all this? Some of these things, like it took me a while before I started learning all this. That was like 3 years ago, and I started understanding that I was learning a lot of softwares. So like there are easier ways to get it. Oh, but there are a lot of ways to model this weapon. Oh. That should not get me wrong. You can right click. See, I selected this two. I selected this two. Right click, subdivide, add cut to two. Okay, it's one we need. If you undo it, to take out the whole operation. Sorry. So let me just right click again, subdivide. It is one here, right? Take this one to where it is. Carry this one, bring it here. Okay, this one is even sharp. We don't even need to bevel it. I think this is that not how the sword is. Is that how the sword is? Let's toggle looking at it, let's toggle visibility mode to hide it in viewport so we can see how the shape is. It is a little bit bent. So hold Ctrl Shift B, just drag just a bit. You can reduce the number because it's not that. Do you understand? You can come here. You can come here, bring this one up here, right click this and this, right click and subdivide, make it like 3 cuts because there are a lot of jagbajantis here. Hey, wait, sorry. Unselect this one, so if you right click and subdivide, it will only appear on this line. Let's make it 2. Don't worry, you can always add. Make one here, put one here. One should be here. Come here, shift click, right click, subdivide. Bring it here. You and I know if we bevel here, we have gotten here. Sharp. If you bevel here, this point, you have gotten here. All you have to do is align this one to here. Don't forget to extrude and don't forget to make your object sharp. Simple. How are you guys feeling today? How are you feeling? I hope you are good to go. I hope you can do and undo. It's cool. Please, attendance, so help us